Hello everybody and welcome back to Sensei'sTable. Today we're going to be talking about SB02 Gotenks. This was one of my favorite characters growing up as a kid, and honestly he plays just like how he fought in the anime. This leader is equipped with tons of tools. He is one of the few aggro decks that can play really aggressive and on top of that control your board at the same time, making him a big threat to deal with. This leader requires you to make the right choices at the right time, but overall he is incredibly fun to play. So let's not waste no more time and hop right in. So starting with the front side, Gotenks' when attacking is draw one card, and then he also has the standard awaken. When your life is at 4 or less, draw one card, then you can flip this card over. Not much to see here on the front side. He's just a standard, just like most of the other leaders in the game. Now, when we get to the back side, he has a when attacking, draw one card, and he has an activate main that's once per turn. During this turn, if you use an extra with an original cost of 3, and both with Saiyan and Earthling in its special traits, this card gets plus 15,000 power for the turn. You can think of Gotenks as an updated starter deck of Blue Vegeta. The only difference being that for the Vegeta, you need to have 7 or less cards in hand, but for Gotenks, you just have to use an extra that has an original cost of 3, and it has to have Saiyan and Earthling in its special traits. If you can successfully do this, hitting your opponent for 35k every single turn just demands a super combo out of their hand, putting them on a clock. Now let's jump into some really good cards for the deck. So we're going to talk about Gotenks first. On play, you can draw one card, then discard one card from your hand. Then you can use the activate main once per turn. Place this card from a battle area into its owner's drop. If your leader is a Gotenks, add up to 1 extra that has a cost of 3 and both Saiyan and Earthling and its special traits from your drop to your hand. I love this card because not only does it filter, but it demands an answer from your opponent on the following turns. Later on, I'm going to show you guys some really cool things that you can do with him. Next is Sun Goten. It has a permanent. If you don't have a Sun Goten in your battle area, you can reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 1. Then it has an activate main that costs 1 energy. Place this card and 1 Trunks Youth with a cost of 2 from your battle area into their owner's drop. If your leader is Gotenks, draw 1 card, then play up to 1 Gotenks with a cost of 4 from your hand. You can think of this card essentially as a cell chain, just like Red Cell. This is the core of the deck and how you're going to cheat out a lot of your Gotenks. Now we have Trunks Youth. Permanent. If you don't have Trunks Youth in your battle area, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 1. Now for the activate main, spend 1 energy, place this card and 1 Sun Goten with a cost of 2 from your battle area into their owner's drop. If your leader is Gotenks, draw 1 card, then play up to 1 Gotenks with a cost of 4 from your hand. This is the counterpart to Goten, and ideally you would want to have either of these out on the board if you are planning to fuse. It's just a really great card and needed to make the deck work. Now we have the Sun Goten / Trunks Youth. On play, if your leader is Gotenks and you have an extra in your drop, add up to 1 Gotenks with a cost of 4 from your drop to your hand. Now this card is extraordinarily good because if you are playing cards that discard cards from your hand, you can start to discard Gotenkses and or extras because you can play this to then get those Gotenkses right back to your hand. This is a great card because it allows you to play from your drop instead of your hand. Now we have Trunks Youth, permanent. If you are at 7 or fewer cards in your hand, this card gets plus 10,000 power. And then on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. This card is really good for the deck because it's a self-awakener, and a lot of the cards that you are playing from your hand will allow you to play cards from drop, making it to where you can even self-awaken even if this card is in your drop. So overall, just a great card to have in the deck. Now for the extra, Fusion Training. Activate main. Discard 2 cards from your hand. If your leader is Gotenks, look at the 10 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 of each Sun Goten and Trunks Youth, both with a cost of 2 or less, and add them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of their owner's deck in a random order. This just helps with the deck's consistency because you need to see your Trunks and or your Gotens to start your fusion chains as early as possible. Now we have Gotenks. On play, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 extra and add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of their owner's deck in a random order. Then it has a when KO'd. If your leader is Gotenks, play up to one of each Sun Goten and Trunks Youth, both with a cost of 2, from your drop in rest mode. Now this card is great for 2 reasons. If you don't have an extra card, it can find you one. And also, when it gets KO'd, you also get to play a Goten and a Trunks. So we have another Gotenks, activate main, once per turn. If your leader is Gotenks and you use an extra with an original cost of 3 and both Sand and Earthling in its special traits during this turn, switch this card in a battle area to active mode. This is going to be one of the Gotenkses that puts out the most pressure for you. There are a few extra cards that can really boost this card into doing some real damage. In my opinion, it's one of the best cards that the deck has to offer. Now we have another Gotenks. When attacking, once per turn. During this turn, if you use an extra with an original cost of 3 or more and both Sand and Earthling in its special traits, you will draw 2 cards. This card is amazing because you can get some really great value from this if this card is not dealt with. Just being able to swing for 30k and drawing 2 cards, it's honestly just insane, and it'll push you very far ahead of your opponent. Now we have Son Goku. When attacking, once per turn, if your leader is Gotenks, play up to one of each Sun Goten and Trunks Youth, both with a cost of 2 from your drop in rest mode. Now, the higher energy you get, the more effective Son Goku is, because of the simple fact that you can keep recycling your Goten and Trunkses from your drop and putting them on your board, which allows you to fuse into another Gotenks, leaving you with 2 30k bodies on board, allowing you to keep that pressure going. Now we have Ultra Boo Boo Volleyball. If your leader is Gotenks and you have a Gotenks with a cost of 4 in your battle area, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 2. Then activate main. Choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area with a cost less than or equal to the total cost of battle cards in your battle area and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. This card is insane because if you have 2 4 costs on field, you could essentially bottom deck a 8 cost for 1 energy, which makes this card insane. Now for Death Missile Chain. Permanent. If your leader is Gotenks and you have a Gotenks with a cost of 4 in your battle area, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 2. Activate main. Discard 1 card from your hand, choose all battle cards with a cost of 3 or less in your opponent's battle area, and place them at the bottom of their owner's deck in a random order. This card is what makes Gotenks very versatile. If your opponent decides to go wide instead of tall, you can bottom deck all of their 3 or less resetting board, which will hurt a lot of aggro decks. Now we have Gotenks' signature move, Super Ghost Kamikaze Attack. Permanent. If your leader is Gotenks and you have a Gotenks with a cost of 4 in your battle area, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 2. Activate main. Choose up to 1 Gotenks with a cost of 4 in your battle area, and it gets plus 25,000 power for the turn. This card is incredibly strong because it's going to make a lot of your Gotenks swing for 50k and or in some cases 60k. If you don't need to remove anything on board, then you should be falling back and using this card every single turn you get the opportunity. Now that's enough about these key cards. Let's just hop straight into the deck list. So jumping into the deck list, we have 4 of the skinny Gotenks. I like this card over the cantrips or over searchers because it just helps me filter through my deck, and I can also use it to get any extras back for later. Then following that, I've got the 2 cost Trunks at 4. You just need to have this card at 4. You need to see it every single game. And it's the same thing for the counterpart for the Goten. You just need to have this card at 4 because it's the core of the deck. Then we have 3 of the Sun Goten / Trunks. This card is just incredibly good just to help you get back some of your Gotenkses that get sent to your drop or might get KO'd or anything like that. Then we have 2 of the Self Awakener Trunks, and then we have 2 of the Goten that just draws you a card if you were at 7 or less cards in hand. These 2 are just there to just round out the number of Goten and Trunkses so that they are the same and they're both at 9. Then we have only 2 of the 2 cost Beerus. This card is very situational, but it's just really good to KO your own battle cards if needed. You can also replace it with the 3 cost that KOs on attack. Then we only have 2 of the 3 cost skinny tanks. This card is just very good to extend your plays later on down the line. Then I have 4 of the Restand Gotenks. This card is just incredibly strong in my opinion, and you should be using this to punch double 50k any turn that you absolutely can. Following this, we have 3 of the other 4-cost Gotenks that searches for your extra card. This card is just really good because if you really can't find any extra cards or you really need to find a specific one, this will just help you find that. Then we have 2 of the Gotenks that can bottom deck a 3 cost or less. This is a very situational card. If you really need to bottom deck a bothersome 3 costs or you don't have anything else to play, then this is just a great option. Then we have 3 of the Gotenks that draws you 2 if you use an extra card. This card is your value card. You really want to be using this if you want to just push your advantage as quick as you can. Now we only have 2 of the Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. This card is just very situational because in order for you to get its maximum value, you have to be around like 5-6 energy in order for it to really pop off. Now we have 4 super combos, which is standard in almost every deck. Now we're only running 2 of the Death Missile Chain. This is just a very situational card right now, and depending on the meta we're in, this can either go up or just completely take it out. Just really depends on how wide people are playing. Following that, we're at 3 of the Ultra Boo Boo Volleyball. This card is just incredibly good. It's going to be one of your main removal tools for the deck. And we're running 3 of the Super Ghost Kamikaze attack as well. So depending if you don't have anything to remove, then you'll just be spamming these out, just pushing damage. Lastly, we have 2 of the Fusion Training. This just really makes the deck a lot more consistent in you finding your Goten or your Trunks' early game. Feel free to tweak the list for your personal playstyle, but let's hop into some of these combos. So jumping into the first combo here, if you were at 3 energy and you want a guaranteed fuse, you can spend 1 energy to play out your Trunks. And then since you do not have a Goten, you can spend 1 more energy to play out your Son Goten here. Then you can tap the 1 energy, send these 2 to the drop, draw 1 card. Then you can play out one of your 4-cost Gotenkses. Another thing that I like to do, if you were to spend 1 for your Trunks Youth, and you spent another 1 for your Gotenks Youth, since you're at a 10k stat line, you can also swing with this combo up, because a lot of the times, a lot of people will play the Gotenks that grabs you back 2 cards, or they play more value-wise in their list. So sometimes you can afford to give a combo off in order to hit that 7 cards in hand or less. So for this one, if you have a 4-cost that sticks, which happens a lot depending on what color you are facing, especially later game decks or a ton of yellow decks, you can do one of my favorite plays. You can spend 1 of your energy to activate 1 of your extra cards, so that can be Ultra Boo Boo Volleyball, or you can use it for your Super Ghost Kamikaze attack. And once you've gotten the effect off on your Gotenks, you can then spend the 1 energy to play out the Gotenks here, draw 1 card, discard a dead card out of your hand or like anything that you can get back, and then you can activate his main, send him to the drop to get the extra card back that you used earlier, whether if that is a Super Ghost Kamikaze attack or if that is an Ultra Boo Boo. You could spend the energy again, play the extra again, boosting him up another 25k, and then you can still have 1 more energy to play with here in order to get done with what you need. So this is another combo that is really good, especially if you are at 5 life or in any event where your opponent is trying to stall you. So if you have 10 or more cards in your drop, this works really well, and you have to have 5 energy. So you can spend 3 of your energy to play out this Gotenks here. You can swing with him. After you swing using him, you can activate his main. Oh, you can also have 9 cards in your drop because he places himself in the drop. So you can place him in the drop. He allows you to play a Goten and a Trunks Youth from your drop in rest mode. So you can play out this Trunks Youth here, and then you can play out a Goten as well from your drop. You can self-awaken, so you can take the life from that you can flip your leader. Then you can activate his effect, tap the 1 in order to start your fusion. After that, you draw your card, allowing you to play out a 4-cost Gotenks. I don't have one right now, so I'm going to just use the one out of my energy. In order for you to keep on doing your play, spinning the last one that you had for Boo Boo or for your other extra cards, allowing you to still get your leader effect as well too. So this combo right here is also incredibly strong. If this Gotenks here sticks, or like if it ever gets locked out, and it stays alive during your turn and you end up charging, I like to spin 2 to play this Beerus here. You can also play the 3-cost one that on attack he sends a any card back to your opponent's hand. He can KO this Gotenks here. If you were at 7 or less cards in your hand, you can draw 2 cards, which is pretty strong. And then on top of that, his on KO affects procs, allowing you to play a Sun Goten and a Trunks from your drop on the field. So you can either play this one to get a Gotenks back, or you can do any other route that you need to. I'm just going to play that one so I can get a Gotenks back for more combo. You can grab back more combo. You can then spend the 1 in order to send them to the drop to draw another card, allowing you to then play out any Gotenks of your choice, spending the 1 last energy to play the extra card, allowing you to get your draw off of this again, and allowing you to activate your leader effect. So just I had showed you guys a combo that you can do if you are at 5 energy and if you're at 5 life. Well, this combo works as well too, especially if you want to go wide. You can tap your 4 to play your Super Saiyan 3 Goku. You could swing with it in order to play out a Goten and a Trunks from your drop. So you can play this Trunks out, you can play out this Goten here, allowing you to take the life if you really need to, and then just further allowing you to tap your 1 here to fuse, draw a card into another 30k body that you might need, or maybe just any other Gotenks that you have in your hand. The last thing I'm going to share with you guys is more so a tip. If you're ever at 5 energy, do not be afraid to just spend the 4 that you have to just play a Gotenks out, and then just spend your last energy in order to use the extra card, because sometimes it's a lot more valuable to just use 2 cards out of your hand versus then going up the whole entire chain. I think that the whole entire chain is extremely good, especially at like the 1, 2s, and 3s, but after you hit 4, 5, 6, there's not really a need to go up the whole entire chain anymore. So that's just one big tip about this deck. As you can see, Gotenks doesn't really have a lot of combos. However, the way you achieve victory is by making these micro decisions at the right time to really push your lead. Now, Gotenks is very fun, however, he does have some pros and cons. A big pro about him is that he can remove enemies' bodies while pushing aggression, and he can also clear enemy-wide boards. And on top of that, his board must be answered every single turn, because if it's not, you're gonna just steamroll your opponent. He is also very aggressive. There are also some cons. He also really struggles against decks that have great removal. He also really has a hard time keeping his hand size up, and he often gasses out. But if you can find your way to balance this in your build, then overall he's a great leader to contend after the new ban list announcements. If you guys have any questions and or suggestions as to which leader I should do next, comment them below. I want to thank you guys for all of the love. We're almost at 100 subs, so I really appreciate the support. I'm going to also be at the upcoming nationals as well. So if you're going to be there, drop a comment below. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a great day, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Take care.